SCP-001 Keter Duty. SCP-001 proposals cover all sorts of different concepts, from the first SCP to what creates
especially
anomalies
001.
to the end of the world.
Those are the good
and
ones.
More.
You get into some
Keter Duty was a proposal that described the source of all Keter class anomalies, all of which were kept in check by other Keter class anomalies.
So like Tim Cook and Zuckerberg?
The one I'll be talking about today is a rewritten version of the original, still concerning the containment of Keter
K-class
objects,
apocalyptic scenarios.
With its own twist on things. The
This
Keter
is,
Duty
I mean,
of
at the
the
end
title
of it,
refers
Keter
to a
Duty.
forced
These are,
reassignment
I make the
within
joke
SCP
attracting the devil.
Foundation, publicly
Right?
seen as
Keeping
a
an
form
eye on
of
Mike,
punishment.
making sure his ass is terracotta.
Employees are assigned to Keter Duty if they either
Gain
acquire
able,
or awaken anomalous
when
properties
you
that make them
when you put
unfit
that
for
on a
their current
kid,
duties.
let me be clear
With
about
these
a thing.
properties including the
One of the first things
manifestation of a
about this
chronic
is as
anomalous
much as it
illness,
is a
such
thing,
as
I have to put
lycanthropy
my boot to your
or
throat.
photonic gastric discharge syndrome.
I have to.
Manifestation
Photonic
of
gas,
spectral phenomena,
you know,
such
it's
as
in the
being
air
haunted.
around you.
Sudden expression
That's
of
why I said
traits
Tim
from
Cook and
anomalous
Zuckerberg.
DNA.
What stops
or
it?
awakening of high-level thaumaturgical abilities, or
You don't have to have
psionic
42
capabilities.
or Lou
Keter
in
Duty is
lieu of
therefore
Lou in
made
the
out to
room.
look like a punishment rather than a promotion, in order to discourage
So
individuals
again, you know,
from
I have to
actively
keep my boot to your
acquiring
throat
anomalous
as a
capabilities.
apprentice, because one
To
day you're gonna
reinforce
have to
the
beat me.
idea that it's
You're
a
gonna have to
punishment,
take this to
those
the
assigned to
real
Keter Duty
nuclear
are publicly
fission,
said to be
the
relocating
K-class
to one of a
apocalyptic
number of
scenarios, the
undesirable
math
locations,
classes,
such as
and change in
Antarctica,
alpha scenarios.
Russia, North Korea,
And
Wisconsin,
it's not
various
just
waste
the
disposal
byproduct
facilities,
of having
or the
another
moon.
person out there. The ground
In actuality, those
is a
assigned to
Keter.
Keter Duty are taken
Do
to
the math.
Site 100,
They're not different.
a non-Euclidean facility that was either constructed or discovered by
Well,
the
the way
Foundation
I love
in
the
early
readings.
1900s,
I think it works
although the
to
specifics were purposefully removed
how it
from
should
records
be
by the original
valued,
5 overseers.
analyzed,
The
functional
interior of the
analysis,
site has been
dimensional
excavated from at
analysis.
least one
You were just
extra
taking pieces of
dimensional
papers and
space,
ripping it while the
with
nuke's
primary
going off in the
entrance
background
currently
to tell you
located in the southwestern
how it
United
plays
States.
off on the
This
terrenal
will
scales.
apparently be moving in the near future of its
So
own
again, you know,
accord.
one of the things, you know, it's the joke,
site is
or it's
divided
not a
into
joke.
10 major
I often
sectors.
say you
The
can only
entrance,
climb as high as your master
administration,
will allow you to.
archives, 6
And it's
additional
something you have to have
containment
respect
sectors,
with when
and
you
the
deal
core
with
sector.
people like stone
The structural
mill
elements of
bosses,
each of the containment sectors seems
the
to be
salt
concrete
crew
and rebar,
manager.
with flooring
You know,
and lighting
it's
similar to
unfortunate,
standard
and
Foundation site
that's
construction.
that hillside. It's very
Each of the
specific
containment
to
sectors is
a
several stories
world
tall, in a
that
cylindrical
can
shape,
be beaten,
with floors accessible via several
and
glass
obviously in a
elevators
way that,
situated
as
in
much
the
as
open
this is
central
good,
space.
against
All of
Salt
the different
Crew
sectors
King
are
over here.
connected via anomalous corridors.
I know
known
that
as
the math
routes.
is like it was spread
Despite
across
entire
the
site
stone
being
mill
underground,
for the
most
Masons.
of the
I know
routes
it is.
depict an exterior
It's not that you
natural
couldn't hide that
environment.
from me and tell me otherwise.
The route connecting administration and the cognitohazardous, mimetic,
It can be
and
very
semantic
cognitohazardous.
sector resembles a flooded
So
forest,
just the other day, I brought
resting on top
this
of
down
some form
to.
of
I brought all
floating
this down. I
mountain.
brought all my books,
Signs
my
appear when
my
areas are
business
not being
models,
observed,
my
directing
economic
individuals to the
models,
path
and my
between the two
mathematic
sectors.
models.
And the
Along,
route
I didn't
is
have the
inhabited
psychology
only
one in
by
there, but
flamingos.
you know, I
The
just
route
handed this
connecting
off with
administration
a
and archives, however,
employee of the
runs
month
through
for
the
Tompkins
fifth floor of
and an
a tenement
application
building
down to
in
a
an
building.
unknown city,
And the first thing I
contains
handed to
humanoid
was the
individuals
employee, not
that
the
will invite
boss.
Foundation personnel to
The
partake
boss
in
wasn't there,
recreational
hit
activities.
the application, handed in.
The route connecting
So what I
sapient and
understand
conceptual containment
is
acts as the
one of the
primary
cool things
power
about
generator
this
for
when
the
you
site,
don't have this type
containing
of thing
hundreds
is
of
obviously
perpetual
you're not going to
motion
use the
machines,
stone mill,
which
right?
generate a constant 8.7
This
gigawatts
value
of electricity.
is one, no longer
The
valid
route connecting
for the
esoteric
timelines,
containment
and therefore the
conceptual
Pragrant
containment
theorems
is a vast
on those
field
systems
filled
are not
with a
up to
variety
date,
of fruit
but they
trees,
certainly
and it
apply to
seems to
Bernoulli's,
be
right?
uncrossable.
They certainly said,
A
if I
year-long
take this
expedition
model
was initiated
and
to
I
try
get
and
you
reach the other
guys to
side of
follow
the
the
field,
form, now
but
that
it
you know what
ended
the
in
forms
failure
look like,
when one individual
it's going to give you a
expressed
big
desire
advantage
to
in the world
return
if you
home and the
begin
entire
now
team
to
suddenly
take
found
one page
themselves
at a time.
back in
Take your time.
esoteric containment.
Tell you right now, so that pressure can put you into a
The
telephone
routes
pole. I'm
connecting
not
to
going
the
to rush
core
you,
sector are
but I'm going to remind
similarly
you, look,
uncrossable,
you got to put more
with the
into
one
this
coming from the
at your
archives
pace. I don't care
resembling
what
a
pace that
volcanic
is.
beach,
The more
with
in
fish
is better
appearing to be
than
made of living
doubt,
igneous
than better
rock
than
swimming in the
the other
waters.
end of that.
The beach
Of course, on the
terminates
other
in a
end,
sheer obsidian
I'm not
wall
trying. I've
that
worked with
extends
the
into
managers and the
horizon.
bosses of the stone mill. I've always been
The
respectful
route
of that
connecting
situation.
sapient containment and the core appears similar to a
It's
fun
business.
house of mirrors, with anyone attempting
But in the
to
same
pass
way, I tried to
through
give it to Donnie,
invariably
you know,
ending
over
up where
Double
they
Axe Stone
started.
Supply. I didn't have
The
it
route
quite in this
connecting
totality
conceptual containment
when
and
I
the
was at
core is a
Tompkins,
vast,
but
glowing
it was
ocean.
there. I had the
And due to
videos
the
when I was
nature of
working
the
in Johnson and
conceptual containment
Rhodes
sector,
that would have allowed
constructing
somebody
or
to see the
bringing in a
information
water-faring vessel is
and
highly impractical.
be able to value the situation
Thus,
from there.
it's only
Equally, I knew
theorized
that
the core
these
sector
managers were
actually
there.
exists,
It's locked out on
as
the
it is
hillside.
utterly
I
inaccessible.
have to respect that because these are the numbers.
SCP-001
They will,
is a massive
when you do those
facility
things,
designed
it starts to
exclusively
be
for the housing
regional,
of
local
Keter-class
calc relative
objects,
to
which
non-local,
are
other
usually the
cities,
most
other
difficult type
states.
to contain.
People will fill those values
The different
for
containment
Bernoullis.
sectors
And
each
obviously
contain either
there's
cells
differences
or
between these
access
terms
apertures
that need to be
areas of
valued.
localized reality, in which are located
So,
various
you know, again,
Keter-class
when I go
anomalies,
to the
as
corporate
well as
end of
unique
it or it
anomalies
hits the
created
desk, you
for the
don't ever really
purpose
know.
of containing them.
Maybe they see it, maybe they
When the
don't, maybe
Foundation
they read it,
discovers
maybe
or
they just
otherwise
toss them the
learns of a
application.
Keter-class anomaly,
That's a multi-world
SCP-001 will
circumstance.
begin a
You have to
judgment
value the
process
best
to
of
determine if
positions
it's
from
actually
that
worthy
calculation.
of the classification.
So again, it's not necessarily a
This
bad
process takes
thing,
place
you know,
during
and
a
I
period
don't
of 2
necessarily,
weeks
people
to
kind of
7
undersell it because the
months.
first thing they
And if
want,
001
they think I'm going to do
determines it to be
because
worthy of the
I,
Keter
they,
classification,
nobody doesn't
a
really
new
study the
cell
K
will be
class
built, and the anomaly will
apocalyptic
appear
change in
inside of
alpha
it,
scenarios.
along with an appropriate containment
I use
anomaly.
underwater changing of
Proper
command in the
documentation is
military.
created
It's
for the
a picture where
containment
the scuba
anomaly as
divers
well,
and the
including
systems
containment
go
procedures,
underwater
images,
to
and
do the
occasionally
ceremony.
experiment
It's
logs,
that kind of pressure
although
in the Higgs
individuals
field. That
mentioned in the logs
all the
can recall
breathing
being involved
apparatus,
in
we
the
might as well be in a
experiments,
different
they can't
environment.
remember
Who
when.
can come up with those things? Who can handle
If 001 determines that the object is not worthy of Keter
the
classification,
sheet of paper
it
for
will
the
not create a new cell for it, and the
SCP-001
Foundation will
proposal?
generally drop it down to Euclid class for containment elsewhere.
If I wanted
What
it to be the
follows is
tomb,
a
it can become
truncated
that.
list of
If
various
I want it to be a
Keter-class
garden,
objects,
it can
as
become
well as
that
the
as well.
anomaly created to contain said object.
The difference is not a choice I have, it'll be
SCP-3984
yours.
is the anomaly centered around the end